Hi, it's Mr. Pat, and I'm here to talk to you about the safety rules for the wood shop. Rule number 1, always wear your eye protection at all times in the wood shop. It's a state law. It's not a law I made up or a rule I made up or Mr. Mays made up. It is a state law. All right, if you're coming in just to use the sink real quick, wash your hands, get a paper towel, you don't have to come and put on safety glasses. But if you're going to be in here for any amount of time, you're going to come over to this cabinet, you're going to open it up. We have the little disinfecting light in there, so the glasses should be germ-free, even though we share them. If you wear glasses to protect your vision, or to correct your vision, rather, you would wear the big glasses that fit over a regular pair of glasses. If you're lucky enough to not have to correct your vision with glasses, you can wear one of the smaller pairs, all right? If they're dirty, you can just clean them a little bit with your shirt. If they're really scratched up and beat up, let the teacher know. We can get you newer pairs, but they should last a good long time. When you're done, exit like this, put it back on one of these little hooks, excuse me, and try not to have them all avalanche down to the bottom. You can see a few pair already fell down here from the last time it was used. But for the purposes of our safety quiz, always wear your eye protection at all times. Remember, with safety glasses, this doesn't count. They have to be on your ears and over your nose. All right, so wear your eye protection at all times.
Hi, I'm Miss Adorno. Rule number 2 is anything loose or baggy on your body should be tied back or removed. So we'll start with the hair. Always, always up. Guys, girls, whoever's got long hair, pull it up. Anything loose on your body you want removed. If you're wearing a hooded sweatshirt, there are often ties. You want those tucked in or take your sweatshirt off altogether.
Number 3, untied or open-toed shoes are never allowed in the wood shop. Now, if it's February, nobody's wearing flip-flops, okay? But here we are in September, or maybe sometime in May or June. If you're wearing shoes that you can see your toenails because the toes are open, and you drop something, a tool, a board, something like that, that would be bad news, okay? And for goodness sakes, tie your shoes, okay? If you come into the wood shop with your shoes untied, I'm going to send you away until you figure out how to do that. And if you tie your shoes and they come untied 10 seconds later, that's not acceptable either. We don't want anybody tripping, falling, somebody else steps on your shoelace, then it's a bad scene. So no open-toed shoes or untied shoes are allowed in the wood shop.
Rule number 4, for obvious reasons, always ask permission before using any machine in the room.
Number 5, never make an adjustment or walk away from a machine while it is moving. Or another way to say that is in motion. Now here's the problem. When you turn off a machine, it keeps moving, okay? It may not have power. You may have shut it off. It is not on, because off is the opposite of on, right? But the machine has inertia or momentum, meaning that the parts of the machine still continue to turn and can become quite a problem if you touch them. So never walk away from a machine or make an adjustment to a machine. If you're going to change the height of the blade guard or something like that, you definitely want to make sure that the machine has stopped moving. And if you say on the quiz, never walk away from a machine while it is on, you're wrong. Because the machine could be off, yet still be moving because of that inertia. I'm going to demonstrate it to you here over on this machine right here. So here we are at the disc sander. I'm going to turn this machine on. It is on. It is moving. It is running. We could say all those things are true. It is now off. It's not running, but if I touch it while it's still moving, that would be bad news. So never walk away from a machine or make an adjustment while it is moving or in motion. That's the only answer we will accept on that quiz.
Rule number 6, there are a lot of different machines in this room. Never use a machine that you have not been taught how to use by Mr. Pat or I.
All right, this is the shop vac. We have several around the room, 4 or 5. They're orange, they're big. Never use the shop vacuum on a person. You might be tempted to vacuum off some sawdust that's on your clothes, or maybe you think you're being helpful vacuuming your neighbor. No. This is a very strong vacuum, much stronger than one you might be using in your house. We also don't want to suck up any sharp metal things like nails or screws that we might have in the shop. Those things bouncing around inside this vacuum would wreck it, and then I'd have to call your parents and ask them to replace my $400 shop vac. So never use a shop vac on a person or to suck up nails or screws.
Rule number 8. The blade guard on the bandsaw should be 1/8 above the material so your hands can't fit under. So we're going to lower it until it touches the material, bring it up 1/8 of an inch, now your hand can't fit under. This allows your hands to be on either side and for the material to slide under.
Rule number 9, any damage to a machine or a tool should be reported to the teacher and not used. It kind of is obvious, but listen, we have a lot of students use these tools throughout the year. Things wear out. Things actually do break from time to time. If you don't tell myself or Ms. Adorno, how do we know to fix that machine? What if a student uses a machine you broke but didn't tell anybody? They could get injured from that. Most of the time, it's a very simple thing that we can fix. We actually have backup, meaning spare, brand new in the box machines, that if this one broke down, we could replace it, but we don't know to do that unless you let the teacher know. So, any damage to a machine or tool should be reported to the teacher right away.
Rule number 10, any and all injuries should be reported to a teacher. Just like in PE or art or anywhere else that you might have a little injury, everything needs to be reported to a teacher. You might get dust in your eye, you might get a splinter, things might happen in here, and everything, any and all injuries should be reported to a teacher.
Alright, so every saw in this shop has something called a blade path. Now we all know that a path leads somewhere, just like there's a path from GMS over to the high school that we walk sometimes for an assembly. So on a machine like this, the path of the blade would be straight down. On a machine like this, the path to the blade would be right in front of where that blade is. Never put your hands or fingers in the blade path and you can't get cut. So hands or fingers are never to go in the blade path.
Rule number 12. You may have something you think is really important to tell your buddy or friend, but rule number 12, do not ever distract a person that is using the machine. Not your friend, not a teacher, not anybody. Never distract a person while they're using their tool, power tool. They'll be done very soon. It can wait.
Okay, you may have noticed in the wood shop we have a lot of what we call hand tools. We've got clamps and hammers and screwdrivers and all manner of things. Some of these tools are pretty sharp. If you have a sharp pointy thing and you need to walk around the room with it, always make sure the sharp point is facing down or facing the ground. This would be the same rule in the kitchen, right? If you were going to get a knife out of the drawer and walk across over to your counter to cut up some vegetables, don't carry it like this. If you stab mom, you're probably going to get grounded. Okay? So anytime you're using a sharp pointy thing, make sure that the point is down and that you put it away at the end of the period.
You may see a lot of these tools at your home or in your grandparents' house. Rule number 14, always ask permission if you're going to use these tools at home.
Alright, here I am at the drill presses. I call them drill presses because when you pull this handle, it presses down. Alright? Now, to remove one of these things, and we have a bunch of them over here, these are called drill bits. Bits bite the wood. They cut the wood, they drill the actual hole, and we use different sized drill bits. This part that holds the drill bit is called a chuck. To unlock something, you use a key. This is a chuck key. And normally the teacher will be doing this for you, but I can use this key to unlock the chuck and replace it with a different size drill bit or lock this one in. If I were to leave the chuck key in and turn this machine on, look how fast this machine spins. Now, if you've ever been to a carnival, you know that things that spin move outwards. Some of those rides you do with the swings, and they spin out to the side. So we don't want this piece of metal, this chuck key, to go flying. So always remove the chuck key before turning on the drill press, or else bad things could happen.
Rule number 16, to immediately shut off power to all machines in the lab, but not the lights, you should use the big red button. If you see any behavior or anything that might be concerning that someone might get hurt, press the big red button. It'll power down all the machines, but not the lights.
All right, here I am standing at a machine called the disc sander. You may have noticed this entire wall of machines are all sanding machines. So on the left side of this wall of machines is the disc sander. Now remember, a disc is a flat round thing, and this is made out of sandpaper, this disc that is glued to this wheel here. So when I turn it on, it spins to the left. Not a coincidence, it's also on the left side of the room. Not a coincidence. Always keep your work on the left side. If you put it on the right side, it might try to pick up your piece of work and throw it away from you. When it's on the left side, it actually pulls it down onto this table, makes it very stable, very easy, and safe to hold. So when using the disc sander, always keep your work on the left side of the table.
Number 18, it is never appropriate to sit on work tables, run in the lab, or fool around, and definitely no dancing. There are sharp tools, cords, your classmates are focusing. It is never appropriate to sit on the work tables, run in the lab, fool around, or dance.
Number 19, if a machine makes an unusual noise, turn it off or shut it down and tell the teacher immediately. Most of these machines make a noise. That's normal. I know that's normal. If suddenly that machine started making a banging noise or some kind of really loud squealing, you would know something was up. Turn it off and let the teacher know. The teacher's probably going to be in the room and get that noise in their ears as well and understand that something is going on. But if a machine makes a weird noise, turn it off, check with the teacher. It might be no big deal, but it might indicate that we need to do some maintenance or repair on that machine.
Rule number 20, sawdust on the floor can be slippery and should be immediately swept up. Think of it as turning to black ice. If there's sawdust on the floor, there are different tools we can use to clean it up. We can use a shop vac. We can use the big broom, sweep it into a pile. Sawdust on the floor should be immediately swept up because it can be slippery. Make a pile, make sure you put tools back. Then you're going to use the dustpan. You might have one of these at home. Collect the sawdust, bring it to the trash, hang it back up. Rule number 20, sawdust on the floor can be slippery and should be immediately swept up.